Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. Have you stacked enough silver and how to tell? This is something I get asked a lot. People ask me, what a good amount of silver is, what should your foundation be, or how many ounces should that be, and also, how can you tell? I mean, there is no set standard, and there is no way to really tell how much silver is enough, or if you will be having enough to be safely covered or preserve your wealth against inflation or the dollar. So there's a couple of things I do to measure, how much is quote unquote enough, and it really does depend on the individual because everyone has different selling time frames, different financial situations, and different opportunities, different resources to them. So hopefully by the end of this video, you can reflect upon yourself and have a better idea on if you've stacked enough silver. The first thing I want to talk about is budgeting, because once you see all these full stack videos on YouTube and these 100-ounce unboxings, it can really drive you to want to overspend. I know in the beginning how fun silver is and how addicting it can be, but you don't want to be overspending and putting yourself in a hole, not being able to pay rent or taking out of your savings, because remember, the dollar still is the most liquid, accessible asset we have to spend and to buy and to survive off of. So you don't want to be, spending so much money on silver that you're not able to feed your kids or not have gas in your car. Budgeting definitely is important. When it comes to a financial situation, usually people try to put a percent of their weekly or monthly paycheck to silver, and if you have an extra way to earn passive income, that goes in. Like, some people rent out houses and they only spend their renters money from on silver, but their actual job they keep in their savings. Whatever the case may be, some people use 15% of their paycheck goes to silver and the rest is put to savings and bills. But it really is up to you, whatever works best for you, and that's an individual thing you need to reflect on. You shouldn't be spending 50% of your paycheck on silver unless you're, near retirement and you have the money to do that. And I think a lot of people are lying to themselves or just can't accept that they're not financially at the same spot that someone else may be. You don't want to be trying to live the life of someone else if you aren't financially stable enough to do that. It will only dig yourself a hole, and then you'll end up most likely having to sell that silver. So a good guide to go by is 100 ounces at first. If you're working like a near minimum wage job and you don't have that much money saved up, just try to get 100 ounces of bullion. That's a good place to start. Try to get maybe a couple tubes of Eagle, some generic silver, and that's a goal that you can put over the next year. Every year try to stack 100 ounces of silver and maybe, like, say, like a half ounce of gold, somewhere along those lines. It's a great start. It's easy numbers. 100 is easy to remember. It's not like you have to really overcomplicate it. You can just stick to that. Every ounce you get, maybe even if it's, couple ounce, 2-3 ounces a week, it will add up extremely fast. Trust me, it really will. So that's a great way to start out. That's what I started out as a beginner several years ago. And then as you get older, or as you keep branching off in the world, or as you grow in the world, you might become, or you might find different financial opportunities and you might start earning more money. And then maybe you want to adjust your stack up to 500 ounces, and then once you get there, maybe you realize that you want to trade some of your silver for gold, or use the gold to silver ratio to your advantage to earn free gold or silver without taking a penny out of your pocket. Or maybe you started off liking a certain type of silver and you realize that's not really the direction you want to go because you were less experienced or less educated back then. So now you want to start trading some of your higher premium coins for just standard bullion, and that will even allow you to earn or gain more ounces, but your coins won't be as profitable. But it really does depend on how you see silver, and that's the next part I want to go into, because if you are one of those people that just look at silver as silver and it's just that, you don't care about the premiums attached, that is just basically paying for the name brand, quote unquote. If you're not into high premium coins or numismatic silver coins or anything along those lines, then yes, just stick to your bullion, and you will be able to accumulate a lot of silver that way, sticking lowest to spot price, lowering your dollar per cost average, which means the overall ounce in your stack is what X amount of dollars. If you're buying coins like pandas, kookaburras, higher premium stuff, the dollar per cost for your stack might be around 19, 20, $21. But if someone sticks to eagles, theirs might be around 17, $18. And you can not only are getting silver for cheaper, but you've lowered your dollar per cost average, meaning you will be able to sell your silver for a lot more profits. It's a lot more profitable because at least you'll be able to make $2, $3, $4 per ounce that you sell instead of only making a $1 to $2 profit margin. But that obviously remains to the question of how long until you're selling, because yes, if you sell your silver within a year or two, yes, your pandas will only make you around a couple dollars, but 5, 6 years down the line, those pandas can be drastically appreciating in value, tripling, quadrupling in value, where your American Eagles are stuck to spot price. So you have to weigh out the pros and cons. There's no really easy way to tell what's the best solution. It's all individual. But I also could remember, this is also something that a lot of people do, and I recommend it, is diversifying. Do a little bit of both. Buy your pandas, but also have your American Eagles on the side. If you're going to make an order from APMEX, maybe buy, 5 eagles and maybe buy 2 or 3 pandas, because then you're at least stacking both and you get the benefits of both. Now, storage is really important because once you start getting into a lot of silver, once you get past that 100 ounce range, storage is really important. And safes aren't that big. You have to think about a tube of eagles. Think about having 5, 6 of those, which a tube of eagles only holds 20 coins. So imagine having 5, 6 of those. It takes up a good amount in your space. Or imagine having a monster box. Like the monster box in my safe takes up. I mean, I have a huge safe. It's one of those deadbolt ones that costed several $100s, but it still does take up a good portion. And especially if you have one of the smaller safes, like the Walmart safes, those really can take up most of the storage space in wherever you're stacking your silver or holding it at. So you need to learn how to make it as easily accessible but also convenient for yourself. So I recommend getting, capsule tubes, whether you have the NGC slab holder. If you don't know what that is, if you do have slabbed coins, the NGC holder, it holds all your slabbed coins. I think it holds 20 of them in this like rectangle thing, and it just keeps everything easily organized without your capsules or your slabs getting scratched and dinged up, because that could definitely put off make people not really attracted to the coin as much. I mean, especially think if you were wanting to buy like an MS-70 coin. Yes, the coin is in perfect condition, but the slab that is coming in has like a scratch on it. It just doesn't look as good, and you're probably going to want to find one that doesn't have that scratch. So when you're going to sell these coins, even if the coin is in perfect condition, make sure that the capsules, whether it's the capsules or the slabs, are also in good condition, because that could be the difference between you selling that coin and not. Someone could easily go to someone else, especially if it's a highly, I guess, a highly sought after coin, but also if there's a lot of them out there. So that's stuff to think about when you are selling. I want to talk a little bit about the financial situations, because this is something I fell into myself. When I first started stacking, I've only sold my silver once, not all of it, but I did end up selling, a good portion of it. And that was when I first started, because I wanted to get a car and I didn't realize that I couldn't be spending, 3/4 of my paycheck, probably not 3/4, a good amount of my paycheck. I couldn't be spending that on silver and saving up for a car at the same time. So, later down the line, probably a year down the line, I wanted this car and I didn't have all the money saved up for it, so I sold some of my silver to be able to purchase the car. But then in return, after I had the car, I realized I have no silver. And this was me being, 19, 18, 19 years old. I'm much older now. So that was just a learning lesson, that if you do want to save for a car, fiat currency still is something you have to stack. You definitely have to be stacking your paper dollars as well as silver, because you don't want to have to sell your silver for short. Usually when you sell it, it's for a loss because you want the money right then, so you have to go to a coin shop. You don't have the luxury to wait for someone who's willing to pay the price of your coin, so you sell it at a loss, and you usually have to buy it for higher prices because that time the coins have appreciated in value, and then it's just a terrible situation. So always remember to be budgeting and also saving fiat currency because that is what you need to survive in the everyday world. But I hope this video did help you guys figure out where your selling time frames are. Are you waiting to sell in 5 years? Are you waiting to sell in 10, 15 years? Because this could also influence what types of silver you're stacking and also how much you're going to be stacking. You have to think about if you have a lot of silver, or if you're planning on having a lot of silver, you're going to have to find a way or think about a game plan to sell all that sometime. You're going to have to build your own business and sell all that silver. And a lot of people don't want to have to do that. They're, not even just being lazy. It takes a lot of work to list every coin on eBay and take 5 to 6 pictures per coin and, write out the descriptions and pay all the PayPal and eBay fees and respond to all the customers and ship it out. And man, it's going to be a big process and a big operation. So that's just stuff to think in mind. Sometimes it'll be easier to just go to your local coin shop, dump all of it there and get the cash in hand. But sometimes your coins like pandas and kookaburras, you don't want to be selling there, so you're going to have to sell online to some extent, unless you're going to like a coin show or somewhere else. But there's just some stuff, some food for thought. Hopefully you guys will, start to figure this out and break down your stack and which portions you're going to be taking where, because it really is important. You don't want to buy all this silver, spend all this time investing into silver, investing your time, energy, and money into silver, and then having to sell yourself short just because you were unprepared. So the more prepared you are, the better you are. I always talk about selling because that is the most important thing. You have to think about selling just as much as buying. I usually don't even think about, as I'm going to buy a coin, I think about how I'm going to be able to sell that coin before I even buy it. So then I'm definitely prepared, because if not, you might be setting yourself up for failure or buying a coin that you have no way how to sell it, or you won't be able to get the same profits back. Unless you buy what you like. When you buy what you like, if you buy what you like, you'll never go wrong. And that's the easiest, simplest, and less stressful way to do it. I always recommend that. But if you are in this for an investment, then those are some things to think about. But anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. I post daily videos. I posted another video today talking about silver prices in 2020, how there's some stuff going on, and it's really interesting with India. I think you guys will enjoy it. The article written from Kitco is really interesting, talking about lower prices from very low demand in silver, but there's also the supply factor that they're not incorporating. So it's a really weird article, but I definitely think that you guys would enjoy it, and I think there's some very key important information in that article too that I break down and I kind of share my perspective on. But anyways, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys soon. Peace.